Okay, recording started.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today is March 21st, 2023. This is the Columbus Executive Committee meeting and calling to order. So again, good afternoon. Thank you again for taking the time to join the meeting. Everything is getting busy now with the time change, so I do appreciate everyone's time of taking the time to attend the meeting. So we do have some new people on the call tonight, so we'll just go ahead, kind of do a roll call. My name is Helen Winfrey. I'm the Columbus Section Chair and also the Women in Engineering Chair. We have Dr. Paul Berger, who's our Vice Chair and also the Chair of the Electron Devices and the Advisor for OSU Graduate Student Branch. We have, see, Carly, which is our previous Columbus Section Chair. Dr. Chang Liu, who is our West Area Chair from OU, Ohio University. And Howard Jones is our previous section chair, and all other offices that he has held in the past. We have Bob Walston, who is our section advisor and also Communication Society chair. We have Saul Black, which is our, now I get the membership development and kind of / PACE, I guess, since we're doing activity with PACE. Thank you, Saul. Let's see, Ian is our webman and education chair. So we have two new person on call, and would you like to share a quick introduction, Damon?
I'm from this committee. Professional life, I work in electronics.
I think we can hear you.
Sorry, can you not hear me?
Very faint.
Is that better?
Not like it was before.
Is this better?
Much better.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, understood. I'm the robotics committee chair at DeVry, and in my professional life, I'm an electronics engineer for Boeing.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome.
Great. Good to have you tonight. Thank you. Drew, I know we had some communication, so introduce yourself.
Thank you. Is my voice coming through all right as well?
Perfect.
Yes.
Excellent. So hello, my name is Drew Mullet. I am the current student president for the student organization of IEEE here at Ohio University. And I don't know if this is part of my introduction, but the main reason I'm here is I'm seeking some funding for a large hackathon event that we are doing here at the university. Thank you.
All right, great. And I think
Welcome.
welcome. We also have Daniel with us. Daniel is our treasurer for the second term now. So welcome, everyone.
Our award-winning treasurer.
We
Yes.
also have Richard Slowinski as well.
Okay, Richard is with Ian. So welcome, Richard.
Yeah, I'm the mechanical guy.
That's okay. As long as you pay your dues, you're welcome.
Yes, you have an engineer next to you. So
That's what Helen told me.
yes. I will, one of these days, I'll forward Dr. Berger some nasty email that I got from some very, very disgruntled person. So, but that's the reserved for another day. Anyway, well, thank you again for joining the meeting. We're still going to give Kavita some time, but with that, since we have Cheng with us, I would like to give you the floor to give us some update of what's going on with Region 2, Region 1 realignment. I wasn't able to join the meeting in New York, so I think you did. So hopefully you have some insight of what's going on. Last time I sat in a meeting with Drew and Felicia Harlow. I think there's more discussion about what's going to happen next. So I would give you the floor to share with us what's going on with the realignment. Thank you,
All right.
Chang.
Sure. Thanks, Helen. It's good to join the Columbus Section XCOM meeting again. So it's good to everybody here, to see everybody here. Let me see if I can share some PowerPoint slides that I got from the New York meeting. I'll do share content.
At the bottom of your screen, you should see a box with an up arrow that says share. Click on that and then choose the screen you want to share, or you can choose the PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, I see Carl and Howard's lovely faces.
I may have to create and rejoin because I'm doing this for the first time. It says I need to create and reopen for the permission to work.
Oh, so you've never been through WebEx before?
But not on this computer.
Okay,
on
yeah,
your
so
computer.
it's going to ask you to download something if you're joining from your browser.
Okay, let's see. I'll be right back.
Okay, so while Cheng is joining, we could just discuss about some activities that's coming up that's quite important. So we have, I'm pretty sure Saul and Dr. Berger is we can have a good event this coming Monday. So make sure you register for that. Also, Legislative Day is coming up in next month. You know, we've sent some e-notices and also try to get participation from all Ohio branches. That way, maybe in the future, they can start working with us to be a sponsor on that event as well, since it is, you know, all Ohio section members will have the discount in registration, and that's actually, you know, pretty good for a 4 continuing education hours, $35. So that's, plus there's a lot, some good topics in this year's legislative event. So I recommend somebody, if you haven't done that in the past, to join. It is half a day, so it will take half of your day to join the meeting. So, okay, well, Cheng is back.
All right, looks like I'm back. And
All right.
can you see my window now?
Yes.
All right.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Cheng.
All right, thank you. So I was able to attend the joint Region 1 and the Region 2, the Region XCOM committee meeting in New York a couple of weeks ago. So that was nice. It's good to meet our Region 1 counterparts who's going to work with us as one unit going forward. And during that meeting, there were updates on the realignments. And I borrowed this slide from Drew, our region director. I said, you know, can use this slide to give the Columbus section update. So I got the entire slide deck. It was done by multiple people who joined that meeting and some previous meetings. So I would like to use this opportunity to give us a big picture of the realignment and where we are now. So IEEE regions have gone through a sort of a long history. We started with a smaller number of regions. With the merger of IEEE and IEEE, that was like the beginning of IEEE. And that was in 1963. And 4 years later, Central and South America become Region 9, and the other parts become Region 10. So the Region 10 was created in 1967. And 1981 is where all the regions, the 10 regions finalized. That's what we see until today, until now. So all Africans was part of Region 8, and Region 10 is Asia Pacific. So that has been a very long time, 40 years. So this is what we are now. Region 1 is New York and North, and Region 2 is us. It's essentially around the DC, slightly south of that. Now, with the demographic change, there's a need for the very big Region 10 to split. And the Region 10 covers a very large area. Currently, they have zones. They have like North Asia zone, South Asia, and the Pacific, and these will become new regions. That's the plan. So this has been going on for a while. It has been discussed and then discussed again, and there were also discussion on how this can be done. So the split has been decided a long time ago, and the Region 1, Region 2 merger has also been decided. And right now we are really talking about what's the process to realign this. So the change is there will be no longer a Region 1. Region 1 will be just gone. It will be no longer be used as a region name starting from January 1st, 2028. Region 2 shall consist of Eastern and Northeastern USA. Currently, it's just Eastern USA, but it will cover both Region 1 and Region 2. Region 3 through 9 will stay the same, but Region 10 will be North Asia, and Region 11, the new one, will be South Asia and the Pacific. So that's a change. Was there a question? No? Okay.
Chang, I just
Yes.
have a question. So region 1 will be part of Region 2, correct?
Well, let's say it this way. Region 1 and Region 2 will merge, equal partners. The new name will be Region 2.
Okay.
So there will be no Region 1.
Okay.
Before we talk about Region 1 and Region 2 realignment plan, it's actually necessary to talk about how Region 10 is going to split. So the big change will happen in the beginning of 2028, January 1st. At that time, the Region 10 director essentially will become the new Region 10 director. New Region 10 is only half of the original Region 10. And there is another director elected, Region 11 director, whose term is going to start at their year. So the reason this is going to have an impact on us is because the board really wants to make sure that at any given time, there are only 10 directors. They want to maintain the number of members in the board. So it's very important for them and for us, I guess, for the IEEE as a whole, that we don't have any 9 directors at any given time or 11 directors at any given time. So because the Region 10 is going to split this way, so by the beginning of 2028, they will have a new director. There will be 2 directors over there. And the term are staggered. All region directors are staggered anyway. The even number of regions, they will start on all the years. All the number of regions, they will start on even years. This is all staggered. So this is normal. But what we want to pay attention to is at the beginning of 2028, there will be 2 directors, region directors from R10 and R11, which means by the end of 2027, there can only be 1 director for the joint for the new R2, for the joint R1, R2 region. So for this reason, the R1, R2 director election is gonna hold it this way. So R1, region 1 is gonna be off 1 year according to our schedule. So Drew is our current director, and then we have Felicia as a director-elect. Felicia's term is gonna go from 2025 to 2026. She is currently the director-elect. Drew just became the director this year, right? Last year she was the director-elect. So Drew will cover this year, 2023 and 2024. Felicia will cover 2025 and 2026. In the year 2026, we will have another election. The person who's going to be elected is going to be R2 director for 1 year. But this election is going to be held jointly with Region 1. They will jointly elect a new director, but this new director during his or her first year is only going to be Region 1 director. Again, the reason is because R10 and R11 will have the second director only at the beginning of 2028. So the last R1 director will serve 26 and 27, then there will be no R1 director. We will elect a new one after Felicia, but we will elect along with R1. R1 will elect with us. We'll have a new director. This director is going to be R2 director for 1 year, and then he will or she will be both R1 and R2, the joint region for 1 year. And after that, it's all going to be normal, back to normal. In 2028, we will again jointly elect a R2 director, but at that time, there's only one director. So the only odd year is 2027. 2027, you have a jointly elected R2 director, but you still have a R1 director with 1 more year. Does this make sense? Is it all clear to everybody? Okay.
Yes.
So with this, we now have a perfect plan. We will always have 10 region directors at any given time. And other than that, R1 and R2, the two region executive committees are already starting to work together. So we essentially are already starting making some decisions jointly, and we are working as a unit, starting to work as a unit. As far as all the sections and areas goes, the region realignment will have very, very minimum impact on you because no sections will be changed. The border of sections are not going to be realigned. In fact, they are saying no areas will be redefined. Region 1 also have 4 areas. So we may end up with 8 areas. But at least on the section level, there should be no change. And the most change is going to happen at the ExCom level, the region executive committee level. But that we are already starting to work together. And we have like 4 years in the buffer area. So by then, it will be a very smooth transition. The real work going forward, other than the election, is really the change of bylaws. Because Region 1 and Region 2 has slightly different bylaws, and we're working together to kind of merge the language to discuss and to change so that we only have one set of bylaws that's necessary. And this slide is actually they talk about the change of bylaw on the IEEE level and on higher level. When that work's done, we can start work on the region level. We'll just merge the two bylaws and guidelines of different committees. The committees will probably merge. So that's the gist of the region alignment. Are there any questions?
My only question is overarching. Um, so it probably makes a lot of sense. You know, Region 10 is enormous compared to Region 1 and 2. But how balanced will the IEEE regions be after this realignment? Are there future realignments envisioned? Region 8 is enormous. Europe, Eastern Europe into Russia and all of Africa. I mean, that's crazy big.
That's a very good question, and I don't think anyone have a good answer right now. Even after the Region 1, Region 2 merger, and after the Region 10 split, like you pointed out, Region 8 is huge, and the new Region 10 and the Region 11 is still much bigger. But I don't think, at least on the horizon, no one is considering new region realignment. At least
Okay.
for now, I think
Okay.
we're settled for this job.
Because it seems like North America will eventually contract to, I would think, to be balanced to no more than two to three regions if you really wanted to balance the membership numbers out. But okay, this is a discussion for another day.
Yeah, if you look at this process, see, it's gonna take at least until 2028 to finish this process, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the Region 10, the split, that has been discussed for at least a decade before, it was agreed on. So that's a 2-decade process. So I guess once we have this done, it will be a few years. Even if the new discussion, new need, it's going to be another 2 decades.
Our technology moves at rapid pace, but our MGA moves at glacial pace.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, during the region XCOM, there were also discussions, especially folks from industry, that says, we can really do this 2 years faster. The merger of bylaws won't take that long, but that's kind of the industry in commercial world, we kind of move fast. Here, we take time. This is the final plan that everybody agrees on.
Fair enough.
Okay. Well, before I hand the floor back, I have a few reminders. One, the section Congress is coming up, and I hope you have identified the section delegate, and to attend, and then the registration should, you can already do the registration with the code from the MGAs. So that's section Congress. And the section Congress, every time they also they do pay attention to the recommendations from sections. So if you have any recommendation from section, please, we first discuss among the sections and then submit it to the region. I believe our region can come up with 3 recommendations. And I've been to the previous section Congress in Sydney, and I know they really do pay great attention to the recommendation that came from the region. There was very lengthy discussion, and there will be a response. So if you haven't submitted your recommendation candidate yet, please do submit that. And lastly, not lastly, I have 2 more items. One is there is also a region meeting coming up in Philadelphia.
In June, I believe it hasn't been set, Chang. I think it's believe in June.
Yes, yes. And
Congress, by the way.
Yeah, Converse. Yeah, somewhere.
Congress.
yeah, it's in June, from June 2nd to the 4th. it's going to be in King of Prussia, very close to Philadelphia. It's a Philadelphia suburb. So just a heads up for everybody. But look for the official notification, the official communication from the region. They are going to send out something very soon. And then last is one of my requests. The region director sends an update to the IEEE board quarterly, and they would always look for input from us. And in the past, I have not asked you for input every quarter. The reason is because I got a notification like just a few days before, not even a week. And I know that everybody's busy, you know, we are all volunteers. I sometimes I just decided not to ask for you. Instead, I look for my inbox, look for the e-notice, and check your website, check your calendar. I try to put the report together myself. Going forward, you guys have all these wonderful activities. You're very well organized, meet regularly. If you want to copy me on the meeting items, that would be great. They'll help me organize, compose the report, the quarterly report to the region. Also, if I check your calendar, but on the calendar after the event, there's no information. So if you have any information that's actually generated for event, feel free just copy me on the raw information. I can compose that way. But other than that, I will also try to ask the region to give us more lead time. If we have more than a week or two, then I will ask input from you for the update. So that's also just a heads up from me. All right. Thanks again, Helen. Are there any more questions that I can answer?
Yeah, thank you, Cheng. We've been working a little bit better on getting input to Rhonda on the newsletter.
Yeah, the
So
newsletter, those are helpful information too. I see the communication back and forth. Yes.
yes, so that was something that we were planning to do probably since that's a monthly basis. We can take the excerpt from that newsletter and add that as a report to you as well. So for the section Congress, we did have the questionnaire a few years back, you know, into 2020. So we sent that out into the section to get feedback, and we sent our recommendation, and this got voted on by Region 2. So I will work again to see some of the notification for the call for recommendation. But I think some of those recommendations still being going to be put forward in the Ottawa conference
Yeah.
since we didn't really get to do it in 2020.
Yeah, if it's a high priority recommendation, something that important to us, and it wasn't addressed last time or didn't make it to the final list last time, it's completely fine to just submit that again. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank you again for giving us an update on the realignment. That would, some of us have a little bit of a purview for that, but for the rest of the XCOM, it's good to understand. Like Chang said, you know, it's just like one thing that Barry Telton, the previous Region 2 director, and Drew, is that we are pretty autonomous, and we have our local operating procedures. We kind of stick to that with the guideline from the MGA, and I think the section is pretty much standalone at this time. It's just my concern at my only thing is like who's gonna lead and who's gonna who's gonna be the major I guess point of contact. You know, we have PACE funding, and how are those funding is going to be distributed between the bigger geographic area. So that would be something to look into in the future.
Regarding that, there will probably be a merged committee or joint committee working on PACE. So during this transition window, during the next 4 years, we will find a way to standardize the process.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, so we have Kavita with us. We can go take a look at the minutes, and if you can pull that back, we'll look through the minutes and see if there's any changes, correction to the minutes. I haven't, I know you have some missing IEEE number, Kavita, so I will go through OU Analytics and look at those numbers, the persons, so that way you can add it into the minutes. So that's one thing. Bob did have, Bob has.
Helen, I wanted to check one thing. There are some highlights that I've made in yellow. So just take a look because I'm not sure about who is. Oh, Ian is the chair for the educational activities. I wasn't sure of that. Okay.
So
that's fine.
Let's say pace, not page.
PACE is PACE.
Oh, it's PACE. Okay.
Yeah.
Capital P-A-C-E. Yeah.
Oh, it's not a person. It's not a person. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's Professional Activities Committee. Also in the Webman, you can change Ethan's last name to Lin.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And the middle of the next page. Yeah, right about there. The sentence that starts with Walston will get back once they reply. A little further down, a little further down, a little further down.
Yeah, that's
Collabratech towards the later part of the line. That's the IEEE Collabratech.
It's a single word. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bob also has sent an email asking for some updates to be done. So I'll do that later on.
There's no H on the end of Collabratech. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I reviewed all the comments related to myself and everything's fine. Nothing needs to be amended. Very good rendering. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. For me, I did like add. I don't really know if we really need this comment in here on the conference.
Really needed?
No,
Okay.
I don't think that's really needed. But other than that, I didn't see anything else.
Okay. And since I joined,
yeah, down here actually, Ethan can get taken out because it's just me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just Ian's been doing a lot of work communicating on Discord, so probably adding a last name. Damon, his last name is Reddy, R-E-D-D-Y.
Yeah, he's on the call right now. You'll see him on the call.
And under controls, I was here for that meeting. It said that I wasn't present.
You were here last month?
Was roll down to the attendance, yes.
Is that Carl? Okay.
Yes.
That's Carl.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Actually, some of it didn't come up, and I think initially when Helen asks people
Yeah,
are
he
there,
wasn't.
I think Carl wasn't there initially, so that's why I couldn't.
Oh, okay. I may have been about 5 minutes late, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll make those changes.
All right. Any other changes that we need to address? Okay, I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve with changes.
Second.
All right, so Ian made the motion, Paul Berger seconded to approve the minutes with changes.
Okay. Motion to approve the minutes. Everyone who agree, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
If I do both, is that voting twice?
No. You count as one, even though you're vice chair, your EDS chair,
You know.
you're only once by the bylaw. Okay.
Make sure there's election standards here.
Yes. All right. Well, with that, motion carried to approve the February 21st, 2023 minutes with corrections. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kavita. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you so much for your effort there. With that, just like I said, just some of the activities that's coming up. So put that in your calendar, especially for next Monday, 27 at the OSU Dries Lab. Everyone should have the meeting e-notice for that. And I know Saul has worked really hard to get that meeting with Intel. So I want to make sure that we get a good turnout. Also, just to iterate with Chang on the section Congress and recommendation, they do look into those recommendations to make sure that we as a volunteer gets what we need in order to, you know, with the section and members, especially big ticket item right now is how do we ensure continuity of membership, as some of the region is really getting large, and I know it's one of the concern for North America that our membership is going down slightly. We did recover quite a bit with some of the students discounts that they're doing in the last 3 years, but there's also talks about membership fee compared to Asia Pacific. You know, we had some petitions, maybe some of you have seen it, to reduce the professional fees. So that might be something that could be in the recommendation for section Congress. So keep in mind and keep an eye on your e-notices. All right, with that, I think, and also just to make sure, V-Tools, if you have an election this year, to make sure to report those. We did have an issue with V-Tools where the update that I put in December with Paul and Daniel kind of got messed up. So make sure that you go back to go to VTools and report your section or your society's officers. Okay, let me see my list here, agenda wise. Let me share my screen. Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you. Paul, anything to share?
It's not letting me share. Oh, okay.
So this
For some
is
reason my video was hanging there. I don't have too much to add. It's kind of an echo, if you will, from the last report. I'm just still curious when we're going to hear about the Region 2 awards that we nominated. What was it, back in September? Or
November.
January?
Yeah,
November,
end of November.
Yeah,
So
November, December. It's in the minutes. I'm looking at the minutes now.
yes, and
So
I see that they have a call for nomination for the section again. But of course, since we were the section, we have the award last year, we could not apply for this year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
so, but there are individual awards, service awards, and also friend of IEEE. So that's something that we need to look into. Some of our industry partner, I think, could use some boost to being, entered for those awards. So keep in mind. There are other things that's coming up. So like I said, keep your e-notices and try to who do we contact for that, Paul? Do you remember? Or it's just
I
Region
mean,
2
I probably could
MTA?
data mine where I sent it, but it might have been a vanilla, it was a web form, I think, and a vanilla like R2 awards at IEEE.org or something like that, kind of, very, very generic and with no real name associated
I'm,
with it. But yeah.
Okay, we
Anyway,
may.
just kind of curious. That's been a long time to make a decision. And of course,
Alan,
looking into the future, when we do the merger of Region 1 and 2, of course, everything's going to get more competitive for us. We're going to have twice
Yes.
the number of people to compete against. So
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's one thing that I've shared with them is like who's gonna have the biggest, pull within this new merger, because it's a huge amount of section now.
yeah, we'd have to compete against the Boston and New York metro areas, right? And
Yes,
Washington, D.C. too.
New Jersey
Baltimore.
and those areas.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I think we're going to
I have a
be little
question
fish.
on the awards.
Yeah,
Did they?
Howard?
You're cutting off, Howard.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I lost sound a while ago, so apparently I'm not connecting real well. That's what Dr. Berger did on the awards last year that we submitted. What happened to them? Did they already vote? Those are awarded? What happened to the awards that we submitted? Or did we not get them in on time? I don't understand.
No, we got them all on time, Howard, because we did have a feedback that it was received. So at least myself, the one that I put in, I had received it.
Yeah, I'm looking
So
right now. On November 28th, a nomination was completed for Helen Winfrey for, Region 2 Awards, Professional Leadership Award. This is automatically generated, email kind of thing. And it's just from awards at no reply at IEEE.org. So,
yeah, so I will send one of the I can't remember his name. He's did some of the awards committee for Region 2. So maybe just a quick touch base with them. What happened to that? I know we did have problem of trying to put in input in some of those cases. So
Yeah, but I thought, I was thinking, or my memory probably is not quite right. I thought that might be, it was going to be in April, but I don't know. I never saw any dates, so
yeah, I never saw any dates either. Yeah, I have 3 confirmations, one for Helen's nomination, which I orchestrated, and 2 for letters of recommendation that went with some of the nominations Helen put forth. That's about it. Radio silence since then from Region 2.
I guess it's is it Ralph Spring from Region 2 that's with awards?
that doesn't sound ring a bell. I know it's
He's been on the Region 2 committee for quite a while, but I saw him on the website listed for awards and recognition.
okay. But we'll take a look into that. Okay. All
I
right.
think it is Ralph, because I think I remember editing that recently.
Yeah. Well,
So,
we'll table that, and then we can verify what needs to get done.
so is he new to the position, Ian?
I think he was. Don't quite 100% remember, but I know I had just recently edited someone that was that chair.
Okay. Hopefully they handed over all the records to him. So.
Okay. Anything else, Howard? Okay. Anything else, Paul?
No, that's all right. I just trying to find out what's going on with that.
Yeah, that was basically my question too. But yeah, no, nothing further in Vice Chair report then.
Okay. Let's see. In lieu of the time, it's 6:46. So Daniel, do you have any report for the section treasurer?
Unfortunately not. Haven't been able to get into our accounts for the past month and some change, but hopefully this next meeting I'll be able to do that.
Okay, thank you. I did go in and change to make sure that the vtools. I'll probably check with Star again to make sure that the all the changes they did say the changes were accepted. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Yeah. So hope if it's ready by this weekend, I can send something out.
Okay, I did submit and approve a couple of report expense requests.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. So with that, we can get into the affinities and societies, professional society, sorry. So membership development, Saul, I know you set up this meeting with Monday with Intel. Anything else you need on that?
Everything's coming along. As of this morning, we had 38 RSVPs. 5 of them were sent directly to me, but I think we have good attendance.
Okay, great, great. Thank you. Yeah, just send an email if you need anything. So yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you. Educational, Ian, I think we had the STEM event last Friday with you, Kavita, and Ratna. That was, I think, turnout. Do you would like to share a little bit of that?
Yeah, so it was me, Ratna, and Kavita. We all attended. We kind of did some snap circuit stuff with a bunch of students. Kavita finally got to see what it felt like to be a physical electrical engineer instead of a software engineer behind a computer screen. Um, we had quite a bit of students attending. It was a pretty good event. We had some. I was kind of told we were the one room that all the kids were getting stuck in.
Yeah, it was really nice actually. I enjoyed it because I think some kids they did not know how to do it, but then like you show them how to do a simple circuit, then they said I want to do the bigger one. So that was really nice.
That's good. That's good. So I will send you the form to fill out the report because there's a little bit of questions that needs to be filled out whenever we do a STEM event, pre-university STEM event. So I will send you the link to do the report.
All right, send that to me.
Okay. With that,
while we're still in the educational activities chair, Carl is probably going to be bringing this up. Carl Lee contacted me this morning, bringing up a project that Smart Columbus is going to be doing here soon. And I guess the launch date is supposed to be June 11th. Am I right on that, Carl?
June 5th, and Smart Columbus is a partner, but it's a STEAM K through 12 educational group with about 5 sites. We are building a model of the Columbus 5x5 model of basically Smart Columbus robotics and everything, working with some youth. We'll basically be working through 7th through 12th graders. And we were That's part of what Ian and I are going to partner on, I think. Am I correct, Ian?
Yeah.
The first project meeting is the 5th of June, and the closing of the project should end approximately August 11th. Actually, on August 11th at a great big event where we present the model. We'll be probably meeting weekly, and I work with the kids. I work with ETSS, which is a New American Group. I'm their STEM manager, and I also am their youth education coordinator. So Battelle gave us grants for this particular project. And that's what we plan on doing with the first part of the grants. It's building a smart Columbus model. With our educational, Ian is going to probably put it in V2s June 5th, and closing of the project is August the 11th.
And we are gonna fix this up to be a joint, collaboration between the control system societies as well, so we can get that launched again. Because the control system societies, I guess, things haven't really been getting reported recently, so, this is kind of a good opportunity for that as well, because it is kind of a control society
Yeah,
thing.
because there's not had been a recorded event, and that's one thing I need to bring up with you guys, because if there's no event recorded within 3 to 4 years, it's going to be decommissioned, and it takes a long time to get it restarted again. So at least minimum 2 technical events a year.
Yeah, our Control's last event was back with the Maker X, right before COVID.
Yes, which is I need to verify actually the status of, I did have an email about the Control Society and also the Signal Processing Society, because I have not heard anything from Kyung Lee, which he used to be the chair for that. So those are the two societies that I got an email from that is in trouble right now. So we can discuss that offline. All right, thank you. So let's see, from the affinity and society, I wanna, since we have Drew with us today, so I wanna give him some time to present the project that they're trying to working on. I have to step out to another meeting at 7:30. So with respect to the time, it's okay if we give Drew the floor here so he can present his proposal for funding request. I will stop sharing.
All right, excellent. Thank you so very much. I will start to share my screen now because I got a small presentation to share with you guys, kind of describing the event that we're putting on, and also to show you the like a spreadsheet of sort of the money that we have, so you can see what we've actually been planning this event around. All right, let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So welcome to Blossom Hack. This is this slideshow that we give to our sponsors. So it has a lot of the similar information that you guys will be needing, but there's some stuff towards the end that won't really apply. Oh, there we go. So when is Blossom Hack? That's going to be April 1st through 2nd. It's going to be a 24-hour event. We'll have some introduction ceremony things that be starting at noon on April 1st and then ending at noon the following day, April 2nd. It says it's going to be at both in Irvine Hall and the Academic Research Center at Ohio University. So that's where a lot of the stuff will be held. If you guys are familiar with the structure of a hackathon, we're going to be having different tracks that students can participate in and submit their projects for consideration for. And if you basically win one of those tracks, you will get a prize for that. So I know we have me personally, for IEEE, we are in charge of the hardware section. So we've already purchased some Arduino kits along with Arduinos on their own that people can mess around with. We have access to the labs here at Ohio University, so people can use the oscilloscopes, digital multimeters, and just general equipment that we have here. Soldering irons is the last one I was thinking of. Soldering irons to make their own projects for submission and consideration. And there's also a capture the flag event, and I believe there's a game design event because we have the Game Developers Association of Ohio University working with us as well. So you can kind of see the organizations that we are participating in. This will be a collaborative event between us, the National Society of Black Engineers, the ACM, Association of Computing Machinery, Society of Women Engineers, and UGDA, which is the Game Developers Association I was talking about. This is one of the like larger events of collaboration that we've had at our university. So we're really excited to bring it to the people here and hopefully there be different people ways to collaborate on projects like this, get some experience, and we also have ways for people who are participating in the event to send their resumes off to the sponsors that we have already collaborating with us. So it'll be a nice way to network as well at the events. So this is kind of some more specific stuff for if you were to like sponsor the event, like why would you sponsor to make brand awareness? But because we're already IEEE, the ones who are leading the event, you guys would already have your logos and stuff on that as well. So I think I'm gonna just head on down to our budget over here. And basically the main things that we are needing payment for are some costs for food still that we are working through. And there are also a couple of things with paying for t-shirts, stickers to get that as well. We have currently been charging that. We have to pay for a janitorial service in the university, but we have been able to get a good amount of the meals covered by the university, so that's definitely good news on that. And the total cost to us, as I calculated here at the bottom with the hosts, has been about $4,000 total. I know that I was in a conversation with email about a potential, I think, $500 being sent. I think we're still in the gray about that. So that is sort of what the money would be spent on, mainly food, paying for merchandise that would be given freely to the attendees, and then also working out the Saturday lunch thing here. So that's sort of my pitch to you guys. Do you have any questions about the event or our budget?
Okay, so how many sponsor do you have so far? And you mentioned about contribution from OU. Is OU supporting majority of this expense?
So yeah, I can answer both those questions really quickly. So for confirmed sponsors, I believe we have I think Google Toast Company, and no, those are not. That's not the correct list there. I know that we have received a sponsor from. This may not have been updated for this. We recently got a sponsorship from AI Futures. They're an organization that was hosting a hackathon here on campus, but then due to low amounts of attending students, they have sort of decided to combine their efforts with us. So I think they recently gave us about, I want to say like $3,000 to help sponsor that. I'm sorry that's not on the sheet. It happened very recently. These are just examples. How to fill this out. So I assume that's why this hasn't been on here quite yet. But I know that they were sponsoring us, and I know we have it on our check. We also have a company called Echo 3D, which is it's a 3D asset management platform that has also sponsored the events. And to answer your second question about how much Ohio University is sponsored, if you look at the payee form, that's what the EECS side denotes. So all of these like Baker Catering, those are basically food that is catered by the university that we've been able to get paid for by our EECS departments. So those are the parts that they have covered. And SAC down here, that's also the prizes for the event has also been covered by the university as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Mhm.
Any question from anybody?
Who's your faculty advisor and how's that working?
Our faculty advisor is Dr. Dan Allwine. I'm been recently inducted into the IEEE leadership, so I've been kind of, I guess the phrase is out of the frying pan into the fire a little bit. I kind of went from social media manager to president, so I've been getting a lot of help from past president of IEEE and Dan himself. So the first few weeks have been definitely a interesting challenge in sort of getting people together, try to organize some events, especially for the this half of the semester, which this is kind of the work of that fruit of that labor. But I'd say something going pretty well so far. We're getting a lot more acquainted with the IEEE website, which I think was lost in between organizations after COVID. So we're starting to get a lot more things back on track and getting our events pumped out. So I'm really happy with how we've been doing.
The reason I ask is because our IEEE Columbus website still points to Savas Kaya as the faculty advisor there. So Ian, who's running the WebEx meeting right now for us, is our webmaster. If you could send the details of your new faculty advisor to the major officers like Helen, myself as vice chair, she's chair, but Ian would be critical, and then he could update the web page accordingly. A mugshot would help too.
Excellent. Thanks so much for notifying me of that. I will get that sent to you after this meeting.
Yeah.
I'll spread
Yeah,
that on.
By the way, I work with your former faculty advisor, Savas Kaya. We have an NSF grant that is in the process of being awarded. So I know him well, but I know he's super busy and he passed the baton.
I see. Yeah, that'd be very confusing, but congratulations on getting that grant.
Thank you.
yeah. And that's probably we need to ping him because, we haven't, he is in the list of the XCOM, but probably it's good if he could attend some of these meetings sometimes so we kind of have an idea of what's going on with the section. I know with Chang being in OU and also Chad Morning, which is our YP, is also at OU. So that's the reason why I tried to discuss as like, we need to get the students participate in some of these events because you guys are the future leader of the IEEE, and we want to make sure that we older generation can bridge that gap in leadership, and young people are definitely capable of doing a lot of work, but we want to make sure that we are here to support and help you with what you need. So thank you for coming today and presenting your proposal for the project. So with that, I know I've discussed with you in the past about the funding that is allocated to all section within the Columbus umbrella. So we have especially the Ohio OU, we have OSU GSB, OSU graduates, no, undergrad. I think those are the three active student organization right now. We're actually looking into initializing or re-engage the Columbus State Community College to be active again, since we have some good participation with them, and of course the VRI. So the section allocated certain amount of money within the given year. Paul, do you have your hands up?
Carl has his hand up
Oh,
before me,
Carl.
and
So with that, I definitely don't want to deplete the funds from the student section, but I would like to propose $500 to give to your project from the student section fund, and also $500 from the general fund. So I would like to make a motion to take $500 from the student section funds and also 500 from the general fund to provide for this project for the OU student section. Any comments or discussion with that?
You need a second?
No, I would just ask for discussion. If any questions.
No, not on that. Not on the proposal, no.
My hand raised is for something ancillary to what you just said, but not that.
And
And I did have a, oh, sorry, go ahead, Drew.
oh, no worries. As a note, some people are apparently have the room I'm in reserve, so I'm just going to move really quickly. I'll be ready to talk in a few seconds. Sorry about
Sure.
that.
So I have a very quick question. That's the Electrical Engineering Computer Society that gave the funding. That's not IEEE.
No, it is the Electrical Engineering Computer Science Department here at Ohio University gave the funding.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we do the same thing, you know, with when we had the last major event with the GSB in Ohio State, they did get quite a bit of funding from the department itself. But of course, they had went out and got a lot of sponsors from the industry, in addition to the section also providing support for the event. So that is my proposal for these. If there's any question, discussion before we do a vote. Okay, so I'll make a motion to provide $500 from the student fund and also $500 from the general fund.
I will second it.
Carl, did you second
I
it?
second. Yes.
Okay. Okay, anybody oppose? Okay, motion to provide funding for the OU student section of $500 from the student fund and $500 from the general fund. Everyone agree? Say aye.
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 All right, motion carried. Do you have that, Daniel?
Yep, got it.
Okay, I think you're in communication with Drew on that. Okay, Paul?
My hand raised, maybe I could, it's just a small point. You made some reference to revitalizing Columbus State. And just as an FYI, the NSF award that is supposed to be forthcoming to me and Professor Savaskaya is actually to implement a teaching lab on semiconductors at Columbus State this summer and next summer. So we're working with Columbus State, and I should actually physically be on their campus a bit this summer. Maybe even students in that class could be candidates for an IEEE section. So so there might be something there to kind of coalesce and congeal something positive.
That's great, great. Actually, the young person that we were speaking to during the e-week, he registered or he joined IEEE. So we did at least one recruit during the e-week. That was good. And I do believe Howard's granddaughter is also an IEEE member at Columbus State. So we definitely, I think we need to have a meeting at least sometime this before the summer ends. You know, I don't like to do campus meeting during the summer since most of the kids are going home or doing not in school during that time. If not this spring, possibly in the fall, but we do need to do some re-engagement there. And that might be something you can lead, Paul, with you being there and Dr. Savas. Yeah. So.
This is Carl. I work with their actually she's a real close friend and member. She's the technology chairperson, but right now their engineering department is looking for a new director coming in, so that kind of keeps everybody kind of waiting. But maybe a good time.
Yep, sounds good. Yes. Okay, so with that, we have about 19 minutes. So we'll just go through some of the societies, technical societies. So we start with, I guess, Paul with EDS.
The only thing to add is I did finally get an email from the guy in Switzerland who was a potential distinguished lecturer. He was radio silent for a very long time, and he suggested any time from beginning of April to end of May with certain blotted out weeks, and I have some blotted out weeks, so I emailed him back waiting for that. And the former president of the Electron Device Society, I was trying to get him, and I said, would you want to come for the March 27th event that Saul Black is orchestrating? And he said actually he's moving his daughter into moving her somewhere. It might have been Florida. So he's going to reschedule. So he might also fall in the April-May timeframe. And then I just want to make sure I'm playing a supporting role for Saul and meeting his needs for hosting the venue for the event next Monday. But I think, Saul, you're taken care of, right? If you need anything, let me know.
You're doing everything you have to.
Okay. Other than that, nothing more on EDS photonics.
Okay, great. So, Bob, anything on the communication? I think we still have Bob. You're muted, Bob.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I'm contacting Star Dynamics, still trying to get to see if we can get a tour and presentation set up. They're located in Hilliard, Ohio. And then trying to get a contact for Lakeshore Cryotronics to see if we can have a presentation and tour there. So I'll let you know when I get confirmation whether they can support a tour or not. One of the interesting things for the upcoming presentations, hopefully this works out. On Science Friday, last Friday, they had Professor Carmel Majidi from Carnegie Mellon talk about softbotics. Thought it was really interesting that they're using, soft materials to replace the bulky and rigid, hardware that existing robots have, and so they can match natural biological tissue and they're self-healing, and they have new applications for possibly medical applications and for wearable electronics. So I sent out a uh, uh, email message to him to see if he might be interested in having a virtual presentation with us. So that's all I have right now.
Okay, thank you. Carl for the controls. So I'm looking forward to see some events there with Smart Columbus.
Yes, June 5th, we're having a project meeting and team and role assignment with the charter for the project. That's going to be weekly working with STEAM programs with kids 7th, 8th, and 9th and 10th grade. I will be talking to Dr. Berger about working with some Columbus State IEEE, OSU IEEE, because not a doctor, but I think Professor Anderson, who work offices next to him, has been coming to our site. She has been exposing them to different STEAM projects, and I'm not sure how that's working out. I think they need a president, but I'll talk to Dr. Berger about that. He probably knows more about what's going on at OSU. And I even expressed to her that I needed to talk to him before I made any commitment. Other than that, we're working with the educational department with those two projects, June the 5th, and the end closing for the project and the presentation will be August the 11th.
Okay, thank you,
And I
Carl.
need to get with them to make sure that the controls is active.
Yes, yes, please do. Okay, thank you. Daniel, anything on PES?
Nothing on PES. So we did have one event in February. Looking to have one more, or at least one more here in April. So we're looking at an event every other month. Is our current plan.
Okay, I did see some event joint with Swin, so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Control Society, they had some events, so I asked them to, provide us actually invite the section. Some of those are kind of pretty interesting about noise and circuit that I would have been glad to attend, but the invite kind of didn't come in. So I need to remind them that when they do an e-notice or an event to include the section, because all of these, going back to reporting, if the section actually do at least 5 technical meeting, that will give us an additional $200 more in the rebate. So when you do some technical events, please, if you need to include a section for that, that would widen also your audiences. Since the way the e-notice has been structured is that if it is only for Computer Society or PES, only PES member gets the message, the notification. So keep in mind to include R20013 in your e-notice or events. Okay. With that, Women in Engineering is a big planning committee right now. Kavita and I are heavily involved in the planning of the Region 1, Region 2, Region 3 forum coming up in October. So I need to probably send a request or call for volunteers within the Central Ohio section to make sure that we can get the help that we need. I know Chang volunteer. Thank you, Chang. I'll need to get back with you on some of those specifics. I think he dropped off, but I will check with him again. But Kavita is working on some of the career fair committee. All right, and for the we don't have a representative from but we did have an event on March 10th. It's a joint event between we and Young Professional as part of the international women's celebration. So that was really good. We had a bowling in Polaris. We had invites and members. We had one member, Ratna, who brought her daughter. So that was nice to have the young women join the events and get to know some of these professional activities as part of early networking possibilities as they see it, that we engineers are not totally the boring ones. We don't have we do have some activities outside of our daily work, so it was really nice event for us. With that, we'll go to the students. We given Drew his time to present. We have, let's see, Damon. I know you guys have a new advisor now with John retiring. So he did promise that he's still gonna participate with us in the section, but since he's retired, he's probably have the second career with the FBI, I'm pretty sure. So how's the student section coming along with, have you defined your new advisor?
Yes, we have. I think her name is Nabib. Let me look up her name again. Neda Adib. I haven't personally met her, but those that have, I know speak highly of her.
Okay, so if you could send me her information, then we can include her in emails. She may not be part of the Columbus section, but at least we can include her in the email list.
Understood. Yep, I just posted her details in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Anything? I see you guys are pretty busy, so any special events coming up?
Yep. So I also had a presentation to request funding. If I could present that real quick.
Okay, is it 5 minutes is okay?
Yeah, I can get through it pretty quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Actually, am I presenting the presentation mode, or am I presenting the?
We see your screen.
We're
It's
presenting
aimbot.
the presenter's view right now, but it doesn't matter. It's still good enough.
Understood. Sorry, I have two screens. I didn't realize it default to my other one.
Don't worry about it.
For the DeVry University Online IEEE student branch, we have some challenges that we have to deal with being virtual. If this is a traditional, if we had a traditional campus that we could go to, we could all like work on one particular project. And so I'm trying to standardize a project between all of the student members. And so this presentation is to formally request funding for some small robotics kits that I can use as a project for the other student members. It's a small kit that contains different mechanical parts as well as some electronic components and basic electronic sensors that we can use to build different types of robots, and it's expandable with a Raspberry Pi if we ever if once we graduate to that point, because everyone within the group is fairly new to robotics and controls in general, and so we'd be starting small with the Atmega 2560 chip that's on board the controller for this particular robot. But anyways, the benefits that we would see for this is that we can collaborate with each other on larger projects, so that we can use this as like as a base to build off of. So for us, this would just be a benefit to them, so that they can learn the basics of controls really, as well as get some hands-on with some different types of sensors that they might not have used before from their CEIS 101 kits. For the rest of the members, we can use this as a platform to experiment with, and so we can test different hardware, test different control methods on this platform, and so we can also use it for those purposes as well. This is just the basic exploded view of the assembly that we would be purchasing. Each kit is about $116. And I wouldn't be requesting the full price for each kit. We can work out whatever percentage it would work out to be, if it's a 50-50 percentage between between cost to the student as well as sponsored funds. This is just highlighting basically what I was just saying. Each kit is $116. I can bring you to the site just to show you exactly what the kit is. and then it just has we just have some details here about they have the Mega Pi controller, which is this in the top right. It's based off of the Atmega 2560, and it has serial interfaces on it, so we can use it to talk to a normal computer or use a Raspberry Pi if we want to expand its functionality later. We have 15 total student members at the moment, and so I'd be requesting funding for 15 possible kits, and to whatever amount that would end up being, whatever that came out to. And these are new contacts.
All right. Well, thank you, Damon. So we will, if you can send us the slides and the presentation, we might want to review that for the next meeting. And also, I have not had a chance to discuss with Bryant about the previous funding that the section provided. We probably have a good thing to have a report from what happened to that project. I know it was, just like you said, you mentioned it's a little bit hard being not having an online presence or a physical presence, getting a lot of information from each student. But it might be something that if you could remind Bryant the status of that project.
Understood. Yep, I can remind him. I know that a few students took advantage of it. But I kind of came in on the tail end of that, so I didn't see those projects, but I'll remind him to get you guys status.
Okay, great. So if you just send us the slides and we can take a look at it for the April meeting, that would be we can review it and discuss and provide feedback for you.
Understood.
Okay. With that, anything else? New business? We have
I would like to
3
ask.
minutes.
I would like to ask Damon to get with me concerning some Ozobots and some sites that we can meet with that we already are working with. I'll talk to you about it later, but I was with John Gozi at DeVry until we all left there. So my name's Carl Lee. You can contact me and we can help facilitate some of what you need also.
Understood. Yep, that sounds good. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Carl, I could probably fix you up with their Discord channel as well, so you could probably buzz in on some of their meetings and get them involved in things too.
I totally agree. They will fit right in with our project. We got Ozobots that we're using for the corridors. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right, I think that's cover everything. Again, thank you everyone for staying and attending the meeting. Good meeting, a lot of discussion, information, especially for the Region 2 realignment. And thank you again, Drew and Damon for attending. So we look forward to seeing you on Monday, Saul, Dr. Berger. And anything else you need, Saul, just send an email. With that, make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Second. Thank you again, everyone, and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night, y'all. Thank you so much.
Good night.